Hello all. Alright, it's the third time trying to make the video and I've got all kinds of problems going on. The lights are flashing up and down. Can't do anything about that. Apparently the main has got a problem in the city of San Francisco and we're having flashing lights. But I'm going to do the video anyway. You know me. Continue to try until you get it done. But this theme today is going to be on stupid. How stupid people are in our administration here in the U.S. It's as if they strive to be stupider and dumber and ignore everything. Complete destruction of science here in the U.S. is mind-boggling. Science is probably one of the most important things that is ever done here in the U.S. or anywhere else and around the world. We rely on it every single day. Look around. Everything you see is about science and engineering. But yet the orange balloon in the White House is determined to destroy science. And President Musk, with his failing rockets and dying companies, is determined to get all the wealth into his pockets. So let's get on with the video and see how well it works this time. First of all, we'll do some environmental news and then some political news. Arctic sea ice hits record low. There is a new study in the EU, and the reason I take on those type of studies is because the studies here in the US are non-existent now that there isn't any more science programs. So you have to go over to Europe to get the science that we need. A new study out of the EU has announced less sea ice covering Earth's oceans last month than at any other point in recorded history, at least 8% below average. C3S reported sea ice rapidly declining in 2025. So the sea ice is really going down. Let's look at this chart here and we'll see that it's just showing just a crash of sea ice both in the Arctic and the Antarctic. February 2025 continues the streak of records or near record temperatures observed throughout the last 2 years. In Europe, the temperatures that most exceeded average were recorded last month in parts of Scandinavia, Iceland, and the Alps. Outside of Europe, temperatures were most above average over large parts of the Arctic. That's serious, people. That's really serious, but you know, this administration here in the U.S. says it's all a hoax. That's not really happening. The sea level is not really rising, and you can't trust any kind of science that's out there because it's all a hoax, right? Right. Yeah, we know that. Here in the U.S., one of the last studies that were done was about research shows U.S. butterfly population dropped 22% in 2 decades. The spread of decline throughout all regions in the U.S. highlights an urgent need to protect biodiversity from further losses. That means less neighborhoods sprawling all over the land, less population. We need to control the population here in the U.S. and other places around the world. We need to adopt children instead of birthing them so that we can control our population so we don't need so much in the way of endless sprawl and killing off our biodiversity. Total butterfly populations fell by 22% across 554 species of butterfly. The widespread losses of insect is called the insect apocalypse. Now, a lot of this is caused by pesticides that are put on food for humans to consume, and we're killing off the biodiversity of insects. Well, the biodiversity of the planet need insects to eat and to spread pollen and that sort of thing. It's very important to have insects, as much of a pain in the ass as they are, but everyone's probably seen the decline of insects throughout the years, because back when I was a child, bug splats on the windshield used to be really bad, where you'd have to sometimes, in certain places up in Oregon near Klamath Lake, you'd have to stop about every 5 miles to clear off the windshield because of all the bugs. Now you can drive up through Oregon on 95 and there's hardly any bug splats on the window at all. Absolutely unbelievable. But the decline of biodiversity around the world is severe and getting worse by the day, and we're just not seeing it because we don't see biodiversity. We're too busy looking at the phone, looking at the phone 24/7 and not looking out at nature at all. In fact, if we were to look out at nature, we'd probably be quite surprised at what we see. Okay, remember I said that we'd get into some politics. Let's do that. Remember I said stupid is the method of operation now, being as stupid as you can get. And yesterday, the orange balloon in the White House signed an executive order to stop breeding, for scientists to stop breeding transgender mice, thinking that they're, for some reason, just for the hell of it, breeding transgender mice. He's so hooked on transgender that he didn't bother to look at what the article he was reading or somebody was reading to him, and they made a mistake in saying transgender when they should have been saying transgenetic. A transgenic mouse is bred and has been bred for about 80 to 90 years now to figure out what vaccines to give to the people each year, like the flu vaccines and other vaccines. It's used in inventing new medicines for cancer and other research. Transgenic mice have absolutely nothing to do with transgender mice. There is no such thing as a transgender mouse. Stupid is in, and Trump signed an executive order for scientists to stop breeding transgender mice. You can't get any stupider than that. That's how dumb they are. But it gets dumber than that. I wanted to report on the stuff that nobody else is reporting on, such as the TSA. Now the TSA is an organization that regulates air traffic control and is the people that make sure that bombs and firearms don't get on planes so that we don't get hijacked anymore. When was the last time you heard about a hijacking? Well, that was because of the TSA doing their job. Well, the orange idiot. Let's just get rid of the TSA. And he says air traffic controllers are stupid, and he's going to fire them all because they don't do their job well. When was the last time you heard of a plane crash other than the 9 plane accidents that have happened since Trump has been in an office when he destroyed the TSA? So he says that to get new traffic control people up in the towers is that they need to go to MIT to get properly trained, because he wants nothing but smart people up in the towers. Again, stupid is in. Let's talk about TSA. Air traffic control in the U.S. are trained at the FAA Air Traffic Control Academy in Oklahoma City, not at MIT. MIT focuses on science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, not air traffic control. We have a school that's for that, and it's been excellent ever since it's been around. The orange balloon is going to get rid of the unions for air traffic control. Now, just for a point of reference, air traffic control, or TSA, got rid of over 6,000 firearms just last year that were trying to be smuggled onto airplanes. 6,000 people tried to smuggle weapons onto airplanes and were confiscated. Now, can you imagine, now that they're taking all this away and getting rid of the unions and decreasing the amount of workers in this organization, do you really want to fly somewhere these days? I mean, can you imagine what is going to happen? All right, people. Well, that's it for today. I just can't believe how stupid is in. And I don't know, do you watch any of the news anymore? I know it's very disappointing. It's very depressing to watch, but I think it's really important, because what the orange balloon and President Musk are doing to this country is disastrous, both in the environmental, the EPA, which is non-existent anymore. It's basically an arm of the orange balloons, and so that he can drill, baby, drill. When oil companies say jump to Republicans, what do they say? How high? Yeah, that's right. So we know who's really in charge, and it isn't the people. And it'll be really interesting to see what the next horrible days will bring of the orange balloons regime here in the U.S. I appreciate any comments. It helps with the algorithm. Any ups? And until next time.